Well, Democrats are saying they haven't made a final decision on what would be a controversial roadmap to getting health care passed, a plan by the House Speaker Nancy Pelosi that would pass the Senate's version of the bill without a direct vote by the House. How? It basically would allow House members to okay a rule that would consider the Senate version basically passed once a smaller package of fixes to that larger bill is voted on. It sounds a little bit confusing. It has Republicans crying foul today. You heard from the Senate side just a moment ago. Republican Lindsey Graham said, quote, Nancy Pelosi's got them all liquored up and looks like they're on their way to make a suicide run. Let's get to the Capitol now. California Congressman David Dreier is with us. He is the ranking Republican of the Rules Committee. I should point out John spoke with the other side. Congressman Clyburn was with us last hour. Congressman Dreier, this is not illegal for them to do, right? They can do it within the rules, can't they? They say the Republicans have used this before.
Well, Jane, let me first say I'm drinking nothing but ice water from my perspective. And I want to say that, sure, I mean, this is a process that that can be utilized, but everyone, Democrat and Republican alike, has acknowledged that never before in the history of the Republic has this kind of process been used for something of this magnitude. You know, James Madison wanted the process of lawmaking to be deliberately ugly, messy, and difficult, but he never wanted people to be able to avoid accountability. And while everyone says they're for transparency, disclosure, and accountability, Nancy Pelosi and her team have been working overtime to try and figure out ways to avoid accountability. And fortunately, thanks to you and people across this country, the American people get it. They understand that no matter how they tried to hide this, they'll know that people are voting for a plan that will see the government impose mandates on 1/6 of our economy.
Well, what's the big deal then if people will know you can still use it as Republicans as a talking point in the 2010 elections, can't you?
Yeah, but I'll tell you, Jane, I'll tell you what the big deal is. The big deal is that we were promised when Nancy Pelosi was in the minority that there would be a greater degree of openness, a greater degree of accountability for the actions that take place here in the Congress than had existed in the past, and to work overtime to try and hide something because they know that the American people are not for it. They know how unpopular it is in congressional district after congressional district, and their members who are running for re-election, and again, they're making attempts to try and cover up what it is that they're doing. And so that in and of itself is, to me, a terrible, terrible action.
You know, Robert Gibbs was on Fox News Sunday with Chris Wallace and said people out there, the Americans don't care about this process, and that seems to be what you guys are talking about a lot today. He said, quote, we're happy to have the 2010 elections be about the achievement of health care reform. We're happy to run on that.
Well, Jane, while Robert Gibbs may have said they don't care about the process, David Axelrod on another show on Sunday said the American people, the Congress, the institution deserves an up or down vote. And unfortunately, that's what they're trying to avoid. Also, remember last summer, it was June 26th when we got at 3 o'clock in the morning up at the Rules Committee that 300-page amendment to the cap and trade bill, and our minority leader spent time going through it on the House floor the next day. That's when the American people in your audience all across this country began to chant, read the bill. Process is substance, Jane, and the American people are understanding that when you use the process to try and pass something that the American people don't like, the American people understand it.
I want to play it for our viewers and for you, just a portion of what Congressman Clyburn said when John spoke to him last hour about this process. Take a listen, if you will.
Well, I don't know if that's in the plans or not. There are 2 or 3 different ways to do this. That is one of the ways that's being discussed. And that's the way that's been used at least 100 times since I've been here in the Congress, and I've only been here 18 years. So this is nothing unusual.
Your response?
Well, yeah, Jane, I mean, I will tell you, it is a process that has been used in the past. I will acknowledge that. But Democrats and Republicans alike recognize. I mean, I heard Lawrence O'Donnell the other night, last night, I guess somebody said that he acknowledged that it's never been used for something of this magnitude. And he's a former Senate Democratic staff member in the Senate Finance Committee. You know, so the Democrats, it's never been done on something that is this large or this controversial, and that's why it's very, very important for us to ensure that we have full accountability. And again, I encourage members of your audience, people in your audience, to contact my Democratic colleagues who are wavering, and those lists are all over. They need to get their voices heard by members of Congress, and I hope very much that they will do that.
We've gotten both sides. California Congressman David Dreier, good to hear from you.
You
Thanks.
bet. Thanks, Jane.